There it is. We're live. It was a little delay. Hi, everybody. It's Joe Mayo, and I'm here for a Beatles talk, a FaB GaB, you might say. With so far two of my friends, I'm expecting one more possibly. I have the Beatles Tone from
Hi, everyone.
Beatles Tone's Beatles channel, right? And Kid O'Toole, who I first say hi, Kid. I'm sorry to talk over you.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Tone.
Hiya.
And Kit is the queen of many things. She does many shows, and one of them, of course, is Talk More Talk. She's one of my co-hosts on there. We just had a Talk More Talk last night that was really fun, talking about the 40th anniversary of the movie Give My Regards to Broad Street. So check that out and subscribe. We're trying to get to 2,000 subs over there.
We're close.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
I watched a bit of the show last night. It goes live quite late for me.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I know.
I watched all the bit about Dylan talking about the new Ringo album. Yeah. I did see all that bit, and then I had to go to bed. But it was just making me laugh because Ed was on there, and while Dylan was going on about the Ringo album, you could see in his face, he's like, when's the Broad Street stuff going to start?
Well, it's funny. Let me let Andy on here. Andy Nichols is here too.
Hey,
Andy.
Hi, Kid.
Hi, Andy.
Kid, Tone, and Joe. Good evening, everybody.
And of course, Andy is on the show. Two Legs, Paul McCartney. It's a podcast or video cast?
Both.
And he's here with us today. It's funny because I was thinking, Tone, the same thing when we did that Broad Street. We had another guest on with us, Dylan, right? And he was talking for quite a bit about the Ringo album. I'm thinking, boy, I don't know if I was Ed getting ready to talk about Broad Street, I'd be like, well, come on, when are we going to start talking about Broad Street? And then he said, no, he wasn't. He was totally. Ed said he was totally lost and enjoying the show.
He really was. Yeah, he said, because I said afterwards, I messaged him and I said, I'm so sorry, that segment went on a little longer than expected. And he's like, no. He's like, I was really, entranced with it. He said, I was listening to every word.
Right.
I was,
Well, there's a lot of good information.
It really was. Yeah.
He was so enthusiastic about it. I'm now expecting Look Up to be like a country version of Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah,
it's going to be
right after Tony drops a video about why he doesn't really like Ringo's albums too much. Good timing.
Yeah. Tony, you've got to, rethink,
And I'm the only guy that doesn't love Crooked Boy, so there you go.
Tony doesn't like it either.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I'm not saying it was the best thing he ever did, but I liked it.
I thought it was the best of the EPs. I thought, as I said on Tony's channel, as a comment, it was the best of the EPs. I thought.
Yeah,
not for me, but I'm glad everybody likes something.
I mean, Christ, he couldn't even name his EP, the third EP. He had to just call it EP3.
I know. I was going to jump on that too. I was going to say it's like Traveling Wilburys Volume 3. I mean. Anyway, hello, Nick, by the way. Good to see you here. I mean, I remember meeting you at the fest. Let me just catch up with a few comments. James Farley, hello. Hello, Mike Wall Jasper. And here's Eric. There you go. And we hope that he's doing well, Beatles Tone. We talked a little about that earlier.
Hi, Eric. Thanks very much. I'm doing good, thank you.
Very nice to hear. Hello, James. There we go. Hello for everybody.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, and
good evening.
Mike Waljasper always says, "Talk more, talk rocks." I was wondering if Heidi would be here. It's so great to have her here. Oh,
hey,
Heidi.
MVP.
The MVP. She's tuned in.
Awesome.
Okay. I was going to put on Two Legs, but now you are live.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on, Tony?
It's Tony.
Penny Lane. Okay, everybody. Sorry if I missed anybody. Look, I should have said that this is like a Q&A thing, Anybody could just ask any Beatles related questions. Unless any of you have anything you want to talk about. So what about Jeff Jones? I'm a little concerned about Jeff Jones from Apple stepping down. I mean, only because after Neil Aspinall, he did so much better in getting a lot of Beatles product out. What do you think?
Well, it's difficult to it's difficult to know where the company are going to go now with a new CEO at the helm.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm concerned too. I mean, I wonder. There are a lot of theories floating around. I'm sure you guys have seen them, floating around the internet as to, why this is, what could have led to it. Is it health? Is it some kind of political thing? And, I don't know. I mean, I have no insider information at all. But yeah, it's a bit of a worry as to, what could this mean? There's, I think we talked about it a little bit on Talk More Talk last night about could this mean the end of physical product? There are
or a slowdown anyway.
Yeah, or a slowdown. I don't know. It's a little concerning for sure.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about it, but because Neil Aspinall before him was very, very tight with things and protective.
Right. And Jeff was the opposite. So maybe it'll be a slowdown, but I don't think it'll be a full stop.
Hope not.
Hello to anybody that I missed here. Hello, Joseph. Hello, Russ. I was thinking of getting the Beatles box set coming out in November. What do you think? Well, I think you can only make that decision for yourself. I decided not to get it, and I forget. Are you getting it, Andy?
I'm just getting the 6 albums by themselves, everything outside of the Beatles story and the box, because I didn't feel that I didn't need $120 worth to get the box and the Beatles story. So no.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, I'm sure, Bruce Spizer's involved in it. He's doing the liner notes. I mean, that I'm sure will be
That would be nice to read, yes.
But other than that, I mean, gosh, that's a lot of money. I mean,
it's a ready for this cash grab.
Don't say that.
Hey,
Tony's getting it because the UK hasn't had a chance to get the mono LPs.
Yeah, I'm getting the same as Andy. The 6 albums.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, Beatley Tone, it was your video on the Uncut magazine issue about John that made me aware of it. I ordered a new copy on eBay, etc., etc. Very nice to be an influencer.
Well, good. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, as I'm an influencer now, my next video is going to be getting ready with Beatley Tone, where I'll be putting on my makeup, getting ready to go out, and you can all put your makeup on with me and get ready to go out.
There you go.
Okie dokie.
A day with Beatley Tone.
There you go. Speaking of which, a big thank you to him because he got me this.
You got it.
Thank you so much, Tony.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome.
Yeah, Joe or Kit, did you grab?
No, that's something else I like to pass on. I've been changing my ways a lot, but I have to say this every time I say that, Andy, because it doesn't mean I'm never going to get anything. Like I still think I want the Meet the Beatles blue vinyl, but I'm not getting everything anymore. I've even gotten rid of some colored vinyl. I've sold some.
And Kit, we know, is not so much vinyl, but more CD, right?
Yeah, it's only because of space considerations. But things change. I may go back to vinyl because I used to love collecting vinyl, but for now I had to kind of go back to CD. Plus, it's for teaching and everything,
and it's so easy. You can just rip them and have them digital, and it's a piece of cake.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, that's mainly it.
Sure.
I used to love collecting vinyl.
Good job there, Talk More Talk, though, last night. It was a long show, but an enjoyable one. I caught most of it this morning. I watched most of it last night, and to tackle 2 topics and have 2 guests, that's not easy to juggle.
Yep, that's true. But 2 great guests. They really were fantastic. So, and I loved, by the way, get to the questions in just a second, but I just want to say I loved that Two Legs watching party. Oh my God.
I saw you in the comments on Saturday night. You popped in late. Yeah. The rewatch party. Why not? What the hell, right?
Oh my God. That was just awesome. I loved it.
Thank you. Thanks, Kit.
My only wish is that I could have been up on the screen with you and added my comments because, oh man, that was fun.
And, the good parts are good and the bad parts are bad.
Yeah. That's right.
It's funny. I don't know if you saw this on Facebook yet, but Susan Ryan just posted something after she watched it, and she said, okay, we sat through Paul McCartney's 1984 film, Give My Regards to Broad Street today. I hadn't seen it in years. I used to have a VHS copy that I got used back when Blockbuster went out of business. Mm-hmm. I think I watched it once back in the day. It's not as totally unwatchable as I remembered, but it's still not a good movie. The music, however, is great.
Yeah.
So there's that. Andy Nichols, are you proud of me? Yes, Susan, I am.
I don't think anything's changed in the 40 years, in my opinion. I mean, I love the music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wild about the movie still, but I still want a better copy of it. I want it to come out remastered or whatnot, Blu-ray. I'd like to see it with maybe some bonus features.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Tony D, I just wanted to say, I feel funny because, I'm over here defending Ringo's whole career. He's got, for me, good and bad, of course. But I think I still prefer, say, 1971 to 75, around that era.
Yeah.
But I do love, the Mark Hudson years. I like that too. And, it depends on the stuff. There's good and bad everywhere.
I mean, Kit, are you going to pull off like Why Not or Postcards from Paradise off your CD shelf and play it start to finish like tomorrow, or no?
Probably not.
Why not? I will. I do. I love that album.
Yeah, Why Not? I think I would play that over Postcards of Paradise. I would definitely, I would play Why Not over that. That's Postcards from Paradise. I did not connect.
Yeah, I mean, I like a few songs, but I could go on this all day, and it's not my goal of why I'm here tonight doing this. But
and justice time takes time.
What? Too many people in the comments. Obviously Ringo. He hasn't had nothing good since Goodnight Vienna. You haven't listened to everything. Nor do I think it's necessary. If you necessarily have to shut yourself in and listen to every song on every album, but it's just like me saying, I don't like a certain artist and much except after this, but I haven't listened to anything really that much.
But Tony made a great point in his video. He's like, Ringo's got to be the only drummer outside of Phil Collins who's had as many solo albums, who was the drummer in another band.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is a great point.
Even Phil Collins hasn't had as many albums as him, I don't think.
Not as much as Ringo now, but it's up there. But Tony made a great point, which I didn't realize till I watched it. What drummer, John Bonham doesn't have solo albums. What drummer who was in another band is putting out this amount of content of solo albums? It is interesting.
It is, it is because he was in the greatest band of all time. That kind of gives you a license to do what you like, almost do what you like. And he's had 20 odd.
Yeah,
so,
I love Tony's phrase of it's a loyalty purchase. I loved that. I love that phrase.
Well, I responded to that in my video response to him. And I don't know, people say, do you think that Ringo would have had solo albums if he wasn't in the Beatles?
No.
And I said, I don't think John, Paul, or George would have had solo albums if they weren't in the Beatles.
Paul would have. Paul would have.
I think they would. They had so.
You don't know that. It's easy to say. I think Paul is such.
Yeah, it's easy to say, and it's obviously it's speculation.
Yeah.
If Ringo could have been in another band, and they might not have been at the Beatles level, but they could have been, an absolutely fantastic band that had a long career and a long successful career. He could still have had a solo career on the back of that, but it's all. It's all speculation, isn't it?
And I said this in the video. Some people may have watched it, some may have not. But I always say for me anyway, speaking for myself, I don't care why I get intrigued with anything. Oh, he was in the Beatles. That's the only reason. That is probably the only reason. But then again, as I said, when I was a child, I mean, I loved Photograph and went out and bought the single Beatles or no Beatles.
Yeah.
I love that.
You just like the song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so I don't know, how would I have felt if I think I would have loved Rack My Brain if I never heard of the Beatles. I think I would want to buy that single. But
But the reason he had a chance to be a solo artist was because he was in the Beatles.
But why does it matter? I don't understand. If you're enjoying it, what does it matter?
And
the only
That's fair.
Yep. And the Ringo album, that is a solid album.
How about Cher? If it wasn't for Sonny Bono, there'd be no Cher. Oh, so you can't
Fair.
like Cher
That's all right. All right. All right.
I think it might have been the other way around, really. But
What I mean,
Cher was the star, wasn't she, in that outfit?
well, yeah, but at first it was Sonny was the one that was with Phil Spector and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did give
Writing the
her
song.
first break. Yeah.
Too bad I didn't think of that example when I was making my video. But it happens. I played Postcards on repeat when I got it. You got two excellent ballads. It's been a while since I heard it. I like Worry and the Hurricanes. I don't care. I think it's a fun song. What's the other one? Bridges? There's a song Bridges I like on there.
It's been a while since I've listened to that.
Probably wasting my time right now on it. But let's see. Oh yeah, and of course, Walk With You. I love that.
Oh, love Walk.
Well,
With
that's
You.
a Walk With You is a good track.
Yeah.
Let's see, Don Henley.
Yeah, talking about drummers solo album.
Sure. But
And as I always say, we say the drummer because thinking that the drummer is usually what would you call the low man in the band or lesser, but I know what you mean. I always call it the least guy in the band. Like, look, in the case of like Genesis, Phil Collins wasn't the least.
Absolutely not.
And neither was Don Henley. I don't know if I.
Yeah.
So
neither was John Bonham.
No.
Or Keith Moon.
But when we say the drummer, we mean pretty much like. Would you agree? I don't know what the least of the band or the lesser guy in the band.
Well, I don't know.
Whatever the
instrument is.
Listen, the drummer and the bass player make everything go.
I was going to say, I kind
don't
of
have to tell Tony that. Tony's a musician.
No. I'm not putting down drummers or bass players. I'm trying to say to me it's a simple thing, but I don't. The drummer isn't always necessarily the last guy in the band. The lesser guy of the four.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Dave Clark 5. The drummer was not the most unpopular guy. Unpopular, maybe, if you know what I'm talking about.
I gave a presentation when I was at FaB, FaB Fest in Charlotte, and talked about different ways that the Beatles changed things. And one of them was, making the drummer a much more prominent, equal member. Because when you mentioned Dave Clark 5, that just reminded me because, and I love the Dave Clark 5, their drums. I mean, that I love their, how they're so prominent. But them and other artists, if you ask, name their drummer, I don't know, and I mean, other artists, maybe Dave Clark 5 isn't the best example, but some others, I don't know if you could name some of the drummers.
Well,
unless you were a hardcore fan.
Yeah,
pre-Beatles. I mean,
pre-Beatles.
Right.
I don't know if you could name their drummers. And then the Beatles came along and, and you had Ringo up on, of course, on a platform, or, he was an equal member of the band and had, was such a personality and everything. And then after that, I think you started to notice drummers more, and then
much
of course
more.
You could name Keith Moon and others.
Sure.
But again, I know I'm belaboring it, but I'm afraid I'm not making myself understood. Sometimes I don't use the right word. But when you look at any band, look at the Beatles, and you say, well, who's the top guy, or or the in this case the big three.
Well, you can't use them because the Beatles are like the Beatles, and then there's everybody else.
But people sometimes, like what we're saying is, what other band do you know where I don't know what term to use, the least of the band, the least ingredient in the band. Is Ringo the weakest link? I hate to say weak link because none of them are weak links. But I'm trying to make a point, and I don't think it's coming out right. There's John, Paul, and George, and then there's Ringo, right?
Yeah.
And he did a lot considering he's the last guy in the band, the lower guy in the band. That goes for any band. Every guy.
Joe, I know what you're trying to say. I know
he need not be the drummer necessarily.
I don't think that there is a a lesser person in a band because everyone has got their job to do in the band, and if they are not doing their job properly, then the band doesn't sound great. So I'm not sure if you could look at like professional bands recording artists and say someone is less important.
I don't mean that either.
You would have some that would.
You're the guy that made the video. Ringo wasn't in the Beatles. He wouldn't have done this.
I
never said that it was any less important in the Beatles. I never said that. I said it was fantastic in the Beatles. He's like, really inventive as a drummer. And the thing that Ringo does best is that he sits in a song. He's so musically aware that what he plays to what he hears. What else is going on in the song. He's not like Keith Moon, who and I like Keith Moon as a drummer, but if you listen to the way that he plays, he is just all over the kit, all through the song, even when he does fills when there's not even supposed to be fills,
right,
but he makes them fit. But he kind of, when I listen to the Who, particularly sort of 70s Who, I get distracted from the song because I want to listen to what Keith Moon's doing.
Yeah.
But I don't think you find that with Ringo. He's very, apart from the fact that a lot of the records he's very low in the mix for a start. But he sits in the song and his playing is subtle and tasteful, and he's very important. And they didn't get anywhere until he joined the band.
Yeah, that has just turned into like I'm slagging off Ringo.
No, you're not. No, I get it. No, you're not.
I love Ringo in the Beatles. He was essential. All four members were the Beatles. They couldn't be the Beatles without any of those four members. But yeah, I don't know. And I'm trying to like play devil's advocate and go into the position of some people who say, well, maybe singing. You want to use singing? I mean, people say, John, Paul, and George were the singers and Ringo wasn't, but yet he has all these albums anyway, and that kind of thing. I'm trying to like put myself in the
Yeah. No, because I talked about that a bit, again, in this presentation, how a lot of people, still say, oh, Ringo was just really lucky. That he was lucky that he, fell in with these three great
and they were lucky to get him.
Right.
Mutual. Very mutual.
Because, the biggest example is, before they had Pete Best. And if they had remained with Pete Best, would they have been as big? I don't know. I mean, because Ringo was the final missing ingredient that they
not
needed.
just as a drummer, as we know, personality, and just being able to gel. Forget about being a better drummer. It was just a personality thing too.
Yeah.
Both with the other members of the band, but also with the audience and also with the press. He was so important when they did those press conferences, because he's just so funny.
Yeah.
His personality and his wit.
Right. And I mean, and who has a name in 1964 in America? Ringo. Like, you hear that name and you're just drawn to it. Probably as a young American teen, to hear a name. It's not Fred or Steve or Tom or John. It's Ringo. So that name,
or Andy.
But no, I think that really but I think that really added to the aura and why people were drawn to it. He wore rings and the personality became bigger, and it just became bigger than he fit perfectly for them. And that's why he was just the icing on the cake.
Yep. Exactly.
Final ingredient.
Yep. Yeah. What goes on? That's a great song. Well, and the way how he did Act Naturally. I don't think Paul or John or George could have pulled that song off the way Ringo.
No way.
There's a lot of songs like that because of Ringo's personality. I would say Yellow Submarine, even that to do with that, with a little help from my friends. This is just the good old Ringo, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
No, and listen, I think it's great that he's doing a fresh new album that's outside of the whole peace and love rhetoric. He's doing a real proper country album, and it's different from what we've been used to the last what, decade, 20 years? Like, I think that's why a lot of people are excited that we're getting, this is not the peace and love game here. This is a country album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad to hear Dylan say that about it when he was talking about it. Although he did say that the last track had a little of that, but it's okay. Just a little.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's just completely repetitive about it, and it sounds a little more subtle.
But the last track's got Alison Krauss on it, and that's a bonus.
Yeah, really. Yep. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, this is long overdue that he did a country album.
Yeah, first one in 54 years?
Yeah,
by the time it dropped,
a little bit of a wait.
55 years by the time it dropped, because wasn't Buku Blues early 1970s?
Yeah.
People wanted it for a long time. Buku's Blues has a good reputation these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm just looking around.
Anybody know anybody that got tickets to see Ringo at the Rymanatorium in January down there in Nashville?
Ken's going, I think.
Ken Michaels.
Ken's going to go.
Oh, that's right. Yes, Ken. Yep. Oh, I wish I could go. That'll be a great show.
I think he's going to both of them, I think he said.
I think he is, yeah.
At first I thought I had read somewhere, and you can't believe everything you read, that Ringo was going to be doing country songs from the Buku's a Blues album. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I read that somewhere. At first I thought it was just a special show just for country, but apparently not, right? It's just one of his regular shows that he's
I think he's going to be doing stuff off the album, I would have thought.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
He won't be playing You're 16, I don't think.
No.
It's what a shame.
Yeah.
I think that's retired.
He's not going to do the No song anymore. That song always fits him. It fits him better than when he recorded it, because he still was using and abusing, he said, when he did it.
Yeah.
But now, I think it suits him more now than when he recorded it.
Yeah, he's telling the truth now.
Yeah, now he is. Now he is.
That's a good way of putting it. The one thing I will say, and I know this turning out to be a Ringo show, people thought I didn't plan it that way. But the thing is, I will say that as much as I enjoy Ringo's stuff more or less overall, because there's things I don't like as much that he does, there is, for me, a sameness to a lot of it. Very similar, samey after a while. Anybody think like it gets to be you can't tell
repetitive.
from
It's too
the
repetitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm probably I'm going to have some, virtual tomatoes thrown at me, but I yeah, get ready. I was one of, I guess, the few that I was kind of glad when he stopped working with Mark Hudson, because I thought that was getting very samey. I mean,
me too.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yep. See, Joe and I are a lot of times on the same wavelength, because, I just felt like that collaboration was getting stale. I mean, the first couple of albums, yes, that was great. But then it was getting, yes, I know, Tony, you're reaching.
Oh, here we go.
But
don't you dare throw them at Kid Tony. I'll fly out there and I'll stop you.
Those tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Yes, you always have my back. But I just thought that was getting stale. I just thought, that was getting very samey. I mean, a lot of the wink nods to the Beatles, and it was getting very cutesy, and I was like, enough.
Done. Like, one album's worth. Like, people just get tired of the shtick.
Yeah,
they get tired of the shtick, and album after album, and you just get tired of it. I know Tony said the same thing.
I was a young man in Liverpool, growing up in Liverpool, and I was in Liverpool, and it was horrible in Liverpool, but I was there, and love and peace and love, and all that sort of stuff. The songs about Liverpool, about the Beatles, about the people in the Beatles, over and over again, and.
Yeah,
peace and love. It just peace and love is great, but I think when you keep banging on about peace and love, it loses its impact. I think.
I agree.
Tune out. Liverpool 8, I thought, was the best example of all that nostalgia type harkening
Yeah,
back to the
I
ritual.
really, and you know, Tone, I think that's an album you like.
It is.
Yes.
It is an album that I like. I really like it. I don't
That's
think
a good. That's a good album.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
That
don't think there's a
song, I
bad
really
song
like that
there, actually.
song.
and that was the first album where, you know, because of course that's the first album where, well, he started it with Mark Hudson, and then, you know, but it was starting to get away from some of that cutesiness, and
Yes.
I thought, okay, you know, and we're starting, you know, it's not a flawless album or anything, but it was like, finally we're starting to move on here,
Right.
you know? Yeah.
Like, think about like how many, again, we'll do it's a Ringo show, folks. Think about like how many songs there are, you know, scattered around that we like. We've talked about it on Talk More Talk on the EPs, and I don't remember the names of all of them, but there was some reggae stuff that I liked that Ringo did. There was Free Your Soul or Free My Soul, the jazzy one that he did on EP3. But what James is saying here, like, you know, he says, "Stop and Smell the Roses" was the last time I bought a Ringo album. You know, I've heard people say that about Paul. Oh, I didn't buy Tug of War. I was done after that. I didn't buy anything after that. I don't even know what he was doing. Or Flaming Pie, that was the end for me, and then I stopped. Yeah. And you're missing some good stuff from Paul in there.
And that is kind of part of the story about why it's I mean, you made a good point, Joe, in your video when you said, I make loyalty purchases because I try and be a completist, and they're both those things are kind of wrapped up together, and it's the same. Like when James says, the last album I bought was Stop and Smell the Roses. The reason why I kept buying the albums, after that is because you just want the next one to be like a return to form, a better album, and that kind of turns into loyalty. But it's that it's there for a reason, because you want the next album to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm loyal to, like I said in the video, I'm loyal to Ringo and the other three in the sense that I want to have a complete catalog. And still, I'm missing, the truth be told, I'm still missing a few Ringo singles here. Maybe there's like the Roger Miller song that he did on the Roger Miller album or something, or Curly Sue, song from Curly Sue. I don't think I have that. But overall, I'm trying to collect it all. But I do enjoy it as well. It's not like, oh my God, this is like I'm not buying I don't buy any James McCartney albums. I didn't buy any Danny Harrison albums. I don't have any Sean Lennon albums. I don't believe. I have a few Julian. So, it's not just anything, say, relating to them for me. Yeah, this is a gem, Tony says. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And and somebody, I think it was Joseph, mentioned earlier about Time Takes Time.
Oh, I love that album.
There you go. Yeah, Time Takes Time. It's just a shame that was on such a small record label that, didn't have enough money for, proper promotion, because that had all the ingredients. I'm not saying it would have been number one, but
Weight of the World. That's what I mean. To me, Weight of the World deserves to be a hit. To be a hit. I think it would have been a hit if it had been released, I don't know, 1975 or something like around that era. But the thing that I hate, like you said, small promotion for Time Takes Time. Nobody wanted to know anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Ringo, I don't want to know about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, fine, your loss. So
had some top producers working with them, great songwriters. That had all the ingredients.
Jellyfish.
Yeah. Had all the ingredients of a, big comeback, and it's just unfortunate that, as I said, it's a small label and they just didn't have the, proper promotion.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It didn't chart at all.
Yeah. And it just just why? Other than, as I said, it's promotion that is the only thing I can figure, because.
And, like that album, like I always put down to me, Old Wave is my least favorite Ringo album, but it has a cover of She's About a Mover on there.
Yeah, that's good.
I love that. That's one of my favorite Ringo tracks he ever cut, off an album I otherwise have very little use for,
Yeah.
personally.
Oh yeah, there's some love for Why Not here in the.
Oh yeah,
I like Why Not.
You know that made number 58.
Really?
If you look that up, I'm surprised. In the U.S., I mean, the U.S.
Wow. Wow, I'm kind of surprised. I didn't realize it was that. Was that the first album that he self-produced?
I think so.
I think so.
Wasn't 2000? Wasn't Liverpool 8 like combo?
Yeah, I think it may have been a
Stu,
combo.
maybe?
Yeah. But yeah, that Why
Yeah,
Not
you
may
got
have been
some.
the first one that he entirely self-produced. I'm not sure.
I'd like to answer the question, but my eyes are too old.
You can't. Yeah.
I Ringo Starr and Bruce Sugar.
Oh, okay. So he didn't entirely self-produce.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like that. I mean, I don't love Who's Your Daddy, okay?
Oh, that that was big mistake.
That was wrong, especially when it was Joss Stone, who was like a young, I think she was about 23 when that was recorded.
Yeah, but yeah,
a young girl.
Although I still have fun with it in the sense that I have fun with You Know My Name, look up the number, stuff like that. But it's, I'm not making it. I'm not going to defend it that much. But so what's going on, folks? Let's get off the Ringo train here.
Yes, we can talk about things other than Ringo.
Yeah.
Much as we love Ringo.
Jeff, Music Sound Gears, got something to say about Paul's B-sides, I think.
Oh, go ahead if I can't find it. Because of trying to be a Paul completist, he has all the B-sides and oddities, which is fun.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of work being a Paul completist.
It's a lot of work just finding out what all the B-sides and the remixes and the 12 inches are, let alone trying to find them.
Yeah, and I still don't know all of them, and I think there are things I still don't have.
Yep, and just when I think, I think I know my Paul pretty well, I swear to God, like all the time, I find out about a new song that he did for some obscure movie in the 80s or something. And, and then I'm like, what? I don't remember this song at all. I mean, just amazing.
Okay, just a little more about Ringo. Joseph got into Times Takes Time. Oh, I know somebody who might be interested. One of our panelists might be interested in this, I think. Right, Tom?
Yeah, I want a Dark Horse 50th.
Yeah, I'm becoming more of a fan of Dark Horse in recent years.
Yeah, I've come around to some of it too. I think we talked about maybe doing another listen, or
did we do it?
Or did we do another listen?
I thought we did.
I mean, we did. We've done so many episodes now that it's hard to keep them all straight. I thought we were going to do something about Dark Horse. In the future. I don't know.
Hopefully next year we might get something on that.
Could be.
Well, anybody want to talk about Denny Lane? I don't have much to say. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, just can't believe that. Somebody mentioned James Boyce here. In fact, mentions that definitely check out Ken Michaels. Did a great episode where he had a number of former Wings members, Steve Hawley, Steve Hawley, Denny Sywell, Lawrence Juber on to talk about Denny. And coincidentally, he did this interview right before it turned out to be Denny Lane's, what would have been Denny Lane's, I think, 80th birthday. Mm-hmm. And it was a complete coincidence. Ken didn't know that. So yeah, do check that out. Oh, favorite Paul.
I like a lot of Paul instrumentals, but the one I always pick, believe it or not, Frozen Jap. I really like that.
Oh, Loop for me. Love that.
Yeah, I don't mind that either, actually. Yeah.
I actually like, I think it's 222 or 222. Oh, yeah, I like that one. It has kind of a jazz feel to it.
So that was the tune. I don't know if you went to see Paul's Eyes of the Storm exhibition. I don't know if you got a chance to see it.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
But when you're going around, that track 222 is on loop, constant loop. Not loudly, but when approach certain photographs, you can hear it wherever
Wow.
where the speakers are in the gallery.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I like Mama Miss America, by the way.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the one that goes rock and roll springtime? Is that the one? I get that mixed up. Valentine Day and Mama Miss America. Well, I like them both on that album, McCartney.
Nice.
There you go. One hand clapping, a nice way to bring a little of Denny Lane to the public eye.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody, in fact, left a comment on the Talk More Talk episode we did on One Hand Clapping and saying that he didn't have a problem understanding Denny Lane. He was from England. I said, well, I said I was surprised because, we saw him many times at the fest for Beatles fans, and I never had a problem understanding him there, but I don't know why. It was in the movie.
Yeah.
Had a hard time.
Same here. I don't know why I had no problem other times.
Yeah. So
he was probably stoned.
Somebody said that.
There you go. There's an answer.
Stoned or maybe drinking or something. It was so strange. I was like, why can't I understand him? I never had a problem with this before.
Is there a date on this 1-to-1?
I haven't heard any date yet.
No, it's been doing the rounds at various film festivals.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was shown at the Austrian Film Festival in Vienna, and it was also in London, but I didn't know about it. But one of my subscribers said that he went to a London showing of it, but I didn't know that it was being shown, so I missed it. I don't know of any others, and I don't know whether there's going to be a commercial release date in theaters, or whether it's just going to go straight to streaming or straight to DVD and Blu-ray. I don't think there's been.
And as Beatley Tone calls it, I believe it's going to be a talking head thing. A lot of it, right?
No, I said that about the what do you call it?
Trying to show I watch your videos.
Borrowed time.
Oh, the borrowed time one. Okay, yeah, that's the first I heard of that. By the way,
and me, I'm actually having a phone call with the director tomorrow.
Cool.
I'll try and find out a bit more about that. He didn't want to do a video, but he's going to do a phone call. So I'm going to try and find out what I can about that and let everyone know.
Good. Well, whatever happens with the 1-to-1 film, it's not, everybody should know, right? It's a documentary. It's not going to be the straight show.
No. Behind the scenes of, I'm sure there'll be clips of the 1-to-1 concerts in it, but it's mostly about the build up, I think, and maybe the aftermath. I don't know.
Yep. We talked about it earlier. No, I'm not going to be buying it because saving my dollars for for all the other things that are coming out. So skipping that one.
I always wondered about this, why Brian didn't get even a small part, a cameo or something in A Hard Day's Night. I wonder if he didn't want to. Was he even asked? I
don't know. I've never heard anything about that.
I've never heard anything. Probably not. I mean, it wasn't he wanted to stay behind the scenes and just, run the operation.
The premiere of Midas Man is happening. Well, it's obviously happened now. Happened tonight in Liverpool, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
From tomorrow, you'll be able to stream it on Amazon Prime. If you've got Amazon Prime, Midas Man should be available.
Okay.
From now, I guess, because it is the 30th now. Here, anyway.
For Tone, it is.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Gotta wait a little longer here.
Does anybody know about this? I mean, I definitely never heard anything.
I don't know that to be true.
I doubt it. But who knows?
He had a couple of comments about it, but he never was asked to appear in it.
Yeah, I would guess no, but
wait a minute, tell me it happened. Is it too early? No, it's too early, right? For the Yankees to know if the Yankees lost tonight, 4 in a row.
No, the game's on right now.
I'm a disgruntled Mets fan. Come on.
I actually wanted the Yankees to win this thing, believe it or not, as a Met fan.
Oh, I believe you. I wanted them to win, and I think it was 96. or 95 or 96 because I said, okay, I'll do the New York thing. But what happened to me was then he started winning every damn year.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right, guys, that's enough. But yeah. But anyway, where we be
Does
at?
anybody think that the Beatles will do more colored vinyl after this?
I don't know.
Well, probably.
I mean, I guess if there's a national albums day next year, I mean, this is the first I've heard of it.
Because as I mentioned to you in the email today, Tone, like that's the one thing. Like they have not capitalized on the whole colored thing. They've done the picture discs.
Yeah.
They've done the picture discs, but they haven't done the colored vinyl. So it'll be interesting to see they go back and they start dropping these out now.
Yeah.
Probably depends on how well they do sales wise.
And is that the only nod to A Hard Day's Night so far this anniversary?
Yeah.
Or am I,
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I really thought the movie was going to be brought back. It's been brought back in theaters around
times.
here.
Yeah,
a number of times, but not this year. I'm so kind of surprised.
No.
I saw it last year. One of my independent theaters had it last year again, but that wasn't the 60th anniversary.
Probably why Jeff Jones had to step down. His failure to capitalize on the 60th anniversary of Hard Day's Night.
maybe that's it.
Well, I think Tom has to be here to answer this.
Yeah, Tom would.
Tom can answer that.
Tom could answer
Yeah.
I love a bit of coloured vinyl, I have to say.
And ask Beatle Brad, too. He loves.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I haven't heard anything about a soundtrack yet.
No, I haven't either.
No.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am, too.
Yeah.
They say new footage. I'm wondering what new footage. So.
Oh my gosh, that Beatles first U.S. visit documentary. I had that on VHS. I wore that out.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's one of the things in my collection that I will watch once a year. I watch it every February. I watch that.
Oh, it's classic. I love it.
Just to get the vibe, around the New York area anyway. So.
Yeah, that is. Definitely top 5 favorite Beatles documentaries.
Still haven't heard anything about this, but we got to get it eventually. I would think. Let It Be.
Hope so. We need to get it.
I mean, I'm okay. I can wait a little bit at this point, but I want to have one official physical media on video.
Yeah, but boy, they're dragging their feet. Well, how long did it take to get a Get Back physical release? Like a year or something?
A year, good year.
Yeah. So God only knows how long it'll take for Let It Be. And it was, you got the sense the Get Back release was reluctant. I mean, they were reluctant to do that.
Yeah, that was a fight to get that one.
I think they're reluctant to put Let It Be out. Yeah, and also when the Get Back came out on physical media, it wasn't in 4K, was it?
Yeah, I don't think it was.
No.
No extras.
It looked better streaming it than it did on physical media. So from that point of view, I'm quite happy to keep streaming Let It Be whenever I feel like it. Better quality.
Yep.
I want a disc.
Or you can get there's a bootleg of it out there that's pretty damn good.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What is this, December? What is
December 10th, Legacy Volume 2 will be out and published.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
what are they looking at? I mean, 4 volumes or something at least? What are they looking at? They ever tell you?
Well, yeah, I've spoken to Adrian and Alan. They think maybe 4 or 5, but they don't really know yet until they get committed, for the next volume. So,
yeah, I hope they go all the way through. I mean,
that's the plan. But probably 4 or 5, I would think, easily 4 or 5.
I would have liked Get Back to have Peter Jackson audio commentary, as long as he didn't talk too fast.
He does talk fast.
Yeah.
He also talks long as well.
Yes.
He doesn't draw breath, does he?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I would have loved more commentary. And Peter Jackson himself, I think he said he wanted to put extras on there and all that, and then
Right.
he was overruled.
Well, supposedly there's this 18-hour director's cut, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see the 24 hours of the footage from 94 and 95 when they were working on Now and Then and Freeze a Bird in Real Love.
Me too.
That's what we want to see.
And unless I'm mistaken, hasn't there been a talk of some 68 footage now of like the White Album time? There's stuff out there that I've seen, but I thought I heard somewhere, you hear a lot, in the talk about something about maybe going to do a White Album type of.
Well, there's some good footage of White Album sessions, but not a ton. You've seen some creep out.
Well, I mean, out of stuff that we haven't seen yet, just like the Get Back we never saw.
Right.
Maybe there's stuff that's around, you never think so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tony, thank you so much. Oh, Tony. Thanks.
Looking hot.
Lordy.
We're all looking fine tonight.
Okay.
That's right.
Looks like I'm stuck with Disney Plus because I don't want to miss out on the Beatles content.
I
never got rid of it, man. I never got rid of it after Get Back from 2021.
Yeah, me.
And you were doing it too. Oh, my password and my username, and you were all fired up because you couldn't get on logged in. I remember.
Oh, I still have. Last time I had to get on for whatever the last thing was recently, which I can't remember what it was now. Recently, there was something on that I had to get. Anyway, it was a pain in the ass trying to get on there. I had to go look at these paperwork passwords and this and that. And,
make a note, Joe. Put it on your phone and just go back to it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, here you go. In the blink of an eye, there you go.
I have.
It's in the singles crate, isn't it?
Certainly is.
Oh, and I have the singles crate. Oh, I didn't listen to anything he gets. Are there enough outtakes to make box sets for the earlier albums and the Beatles? Again, I always say, people say, there's not a lot of stuff with the Beatles. And I say, maybe I'm wrong, but I say not a lot of stuff that we've heard yet leaked out. But, who knows what hasn't been leaked out yet that's in the vaults that they got,
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I would think there, and that's kind of what I think too. I mean, it's what we know of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would think thered be. Because I would love. I mean, one of the albums I'm looking forward to is the the second the second album, Meet the Beatles, the R&B album is like,
we think alike on that too.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love that album.
I would love to have outtakes of Not a Second Time.
I mean, come on.
All My Loving a Little Child. I mean, I don't know how many of them were one take or whatever. But
I mean, I don't know, but like, come on, you've got to find something. Something in those. Although I don't know, maybe I would think there'd be different.
I mean, we've heard some. There are "Don't Bother Me," which I love. I love those "Don't Bother Me" takes that we've heard.
And you got a lot of that stuff on the copyright dump in '63. A lot of those leaked out on that. And some people might think that that's minutia and it's too much. And why do we need to hear 18 takes of "Hold Me Tight"? But some people want to hear all that.
Yeah. Oh, I love how frustrated Paul gets on some of those. Have you heard some of those?
Oh God, those are great.
Oh, that's great.
It feels so tight, and he gets bloody hell, and he's.
I love that. Oh, that's great.
It is funny. It is.
That's the stuff I live for. That's what I like. I like outtakes.
You want to hear outtakes? I get it. I
making mistakes, going back.
Right. Some people think that that's monotonous and boring.
We live for this stuff.
We live for that stuff, right? You want to hear the screw ups and the mess ups. That's what we like.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that the best of the outtakes have already come out on Anthology?
Yes.
Maybe.
I don't know because I haven't heard everything yet.
I mean, maybe the best have, but
Like, did you ever know there were 8 days a week outtakes, or You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, or I'll Be Back? Who knew before?
I'd like to think that the cream of the crop, as it were, Tone, it has been out on the anthologies. There might be near here one or two other interesting things.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that the sessions that we've had that have come out in the box sets that we've had so far, you probably count on maybe one hand how many new outtakes are as good as what we've had on anthology. The rest of it, a lot of it is kind of fake outtakes where they just take the vocals off, just get an instrumental of a song, and
Well, speaking of anthology, do you remember that one segment? It's kind of lengthy, where they just had a microphone or something in the studio and they would play little snippets of outtakes. Tell Me Why, maybe I Should Have Known Better, just a line or two here or there, and laughing and flubbing it or whatever. They had a sequence like that. Maybe.
Well, they had that in the earlier parts of the anthology, when they were, especially the early, like the 1960 recordings, the home recordings, because they had obviously there's no video, so they're just going to set the scene with like a little tape.
But I mean, it made my mouth water for the full outtakes of these. They're just little snippets of them doing some songs.
Mike makes a great comment there. Mike, Bad to Me was not on anthology. There's one that should have been on anthology.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Rocco has a good point. Is the original version of Please Please Me available before it was sped up?
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that exists anymore.
The Roy Orbison one?
Yeah.
Come on, ching, ching. Come on, ching, ching.
That'd be fun to hear.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
But who knows? If it was recorded, they have it, and it's archived, and we shall find out.
Yeah.
Phil Anderson. I hope AI doesn't get too involved with Beatle releases. I just don't want to hear John singing Yesterday or Paul singing Norwegian Wood. No
way. No,
that's
thank
not
you.
happening on official releases.
No, I hate that stuff.
Good point there, Tony. Love of the Love. That's a song that could have been on anthology that did not get out on anthology. Part of the Deco auditions. Sure.
But you mean Tony, like on a regular Beatles recordings album, like they should have recorded them?
That's what he sounds like. You wouldn't have put Bad to Me or Love of the Love on Please Please Me, Kid? No,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far, but
Bad to Me, I think. Well,
Bad to Me, I think could have been on there.
Maybe.
I like Love of the Love too, but it makes me think about it, because a lot of times we say that, even the Beatles themselves, right? They said, "Oh, we don't want to do How Do You Do It?" It's too corny or whatever. It wasn't that.
Well, not in their arrangement, which was not good. I mean, Jerry and the Pacemakers made that a hit because
I like their version.
Their version is fantastic.
But to me, my point is, there's not much difference to me between other Beatles songs of the day. I don't know what made them think that song was so beneath them. Beneath Love Me Do, or whatever else they might have had at that time.
I could see why George Martin thought, they should record this, because it did have, it was catchy. It was a hit. I mean, no doubt about it. And, I just think it was too poppy for the Beatles. I mean, it was, Jerry and the Pacemakers, and I love Jerry and the Pacemakers. I thought they were great, but I do think it fit them a lot more. I mean, I think it just had too. I'm just trying to think of how to phrase it.
It's too. I know what you mean.
I don't hear what you mean,
kid. I know exactly what you're saying.
To me, that's the Beatles all over, that song.
I don't know though. It was too light. I don't know how
light.
Yeah.
Like
Jerry
and the Pacemakers turned that into a surefire hit.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I'm not putting down Jerry and the Pacemakers at all, because I love I love Ferry Across the Mersey, and
God, yeah.
But yeah, I just think it somehow suited them better. I just think of the Beatles, it just sounded forced.
Well, when you've got How Do You Do It, and they come back and say, "We have Please Please Me." Okay, we'll take Please Please Me. Thank you.
Well, Please Please Me is better.
Yeah.
But I just think they did a lot of other fluffy songs like that in those days, and which I love.
From a window.
Oh yeah.
Peace and love.
And there's nothing wrong with. There's nothing wrong with World Without Love either. Come on.
Oh no!
Is there a demo of that out there? Is there a demo?
Well, you ever heard Paul doing it? There's a demo of Paul doing it.
World Without Love has been a massive hit for the Beatles, I reckon.
Oh,
there's an early demo of Paul doing it, but it's not complete.
It's not complete, right?
Yeah,
maybe 30 seconds or something. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful if you can track it down. I've heard it
when he was living with the Ashers there on Wimpole Street,
right? Yep.
I think they were right not to release that personally.
Yeah, I don't like That Means a Lot.
It's nice as an anthology. Oh, like, hey, they did this in the 60s song.
I agree, but should they have recorded it and released as a single?
No. Give it to PJ Proby and let him have a hit with it.
It really was. They never perfected it, right? And it was awkward. What was that a good word? It was. I don't know.
I mean, I remember being infatuated with that in the 90s, listening to the anthology, because it was like a song. It was like songs like that and Leave My Little Kitten Alone were like complete Beatles songs that you never heard before. So you were instantly drawn to them because you didn't know them before the anthology, right. Or maybe you didn't. So you went to those unreleased tracks first because you were like, what does this sound like? Especially like Leave My Little Kitten Alone. Like that should have been on an album.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're always thrilling to hear because you're not supposed to be hearing them. You're not supposed to get, when the first time I got them on really crappy sounding vinyl bootlegs, it was like,
me too.
To these,
You're just like, ooh.
What am I tapping into here? Should I be hearing this?
Yeah.
Well, it's not right. You're not supposed to hear it. And even if you got trouble, which I still like too. I mean, I understand also why that wasn't put out, but rock on, anybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's my favorite part when Ringo is just really saying rock on anybody.
Anybody. Yeah, you're right, kid. Russ says, leave my little kitten alone instead of Mr. Moonlight. Yes, Russ. What do you mean, You're gonna go with Mr. Moonlight over Leave My Little Kitten Alone?
It's very underrated, Mr. Moonlight.
Yeah, I think. See, Joe and
they were on the same page again.
And Tone said, "See you later." Tone hated that comment, so he said, "I'm out." Oh no, he's back.
Oh,
he's back.
Tone, I thought he left in anger. Oh,
and he's really gone.
Tone, did you remove yourself, or should I let you back? Thumbs up. Okay.
Really, Mr. Moonlight over Leave My Little Kitten Alone?
I thought you were leaving in anger.
Nothing to do with your little kitten, Andy.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the kitten that needs leaving alone is just a normal sized kitten. I don't think it's a little one. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
All right.
You want to go
off
screen?
I'll just
off camera.
Go off camera.
God.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Really? You guys want to keep my Mr. Moonlight
okay.
over? Go ahead, Kit. Go.
Okay. Here's more tomatoes that are going to be thrown at me. So when I first, found out that Leave My Kitten Alone was going to be on anthology, going way back, in the 90s, I was so excited because I had heard, the hype on this song was so big. I remember this when it came out because everybody had always said, "Oh my God, this was the lost song." And George Martin always said this was like, this should have been on the album. This should have been released. This was just the lost Lennon performance, So I was just psyched to hear this, And when I heard it was going to be on the anthology, I was like, "Oh my God, this is it. I can't wait to hear this." And then when I heard it, I was just kind of like, it was okay. I just wasn't as excited about it. I mean, it's good. It's good. But I just wasn't didn't think it was. Rocco says
leave Kiddo 2 alone.
It doesn't go anywhere. I mean, it's got the same leave my kitten alone.
Yeah, but listen, Joe, listen to the song. Lennon he's screeching. He is at his most powerful Beatles singing voice on that song.
The beginning of Mr. Moonlight.
Listen, to be fair, Mr. Moonlight, he's just as strong on Mr. Moonlight too.
No, I agree with you about Lennon's vocals. I just think it doesn't really.
I mean, and pardon the expression, but the balls on on Leave My Little Kitten Alone. That song has got it. That song has it.
I will say, I'm not saying Mr. Moonlight's a perfect song. The organ sucks. Okay, I will say that organ was a big mistake. I don't know why they put it in there. If they had taken that out, it would have been a much better song. So I will absolutely give you that, But the vocal on, if they could have taken out that organ, but I was kind of disappointed in Leave My Kitten Alone. I mean, John's vocals were great. I mean, no doubt about it. Yeah. But the rest of the song just sounded kind of flat to me. I was. Thank you.
There you go, Joe.
Thank you.
Did I miss the end? I was looking at comments.
Go back to Joe's comment. Highlight Joe Mantaneo's comment.
Doc.
You
like me.
Now, Doc. So Doc seems to like the organ. So
Doc loves. Wait. You don't know. Doc loves Mr. Moonlight.
Okay, so and I'm with you, but the organ, the organ.
Can I tell you something about the organ kit?
Okay.
Frankly, it's 3 or 4 seconds out of the Beatles' whole career, and I don't have any problem with it.
Exactly.
I mean that organ is like, are we in Vegas at the Moonlight Lounge here?
Yeah.
That's the brilliant thing about the organ, because the organ is like from a 1970s Pulp movie, and that we weren't even in the 1970s yet. So literally, the Beatles invented 1970s Pulp music.
Bow chicka wow wow.
As everything else.
I don't know if it's bow chicka wow wow kind of.
Well, the Beatles did everything. A little lounge music, a little everything. I was
going to say roller rink, but that works too. I mean, nothing. Everybody, nothing wrong with organ. Okay, if you're talking Hammond B3. Hammond B3.
Hammond B3. Yeah, well, that's a little different.
That's now we're talking.
Yeah, well, Mr. Moonlight at the Star Club, that's just straight ahead rock, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a little bit more of a rockier version than the album version for sure. It is.
But that's my take on Leave My Kitten Alone, because I was really expecting, because I had heard, I mean, Andy, I don't know, maybe this was a little before, but you got into it, but the hype surrounding this song.
You mean for Anthology or back in the 80s when Sessions was around? In the 80s and 90s?
Well, that and right before Anthology came out.
Oh, I remember, because I was like 14, 15. So it was like the hype was there. I was locked in.
Okay, so you remember this. So, I mean, the hype surrounding this song was just huge, And, I mean, I was pumped. I mean, I was ready for this song. I was so excited. And then I played it, and I was just kind of like, wow, it's, I mean, John sounded great, but the rest of the song just was kind of flat for me. I don't know. Joe, did you?
Well, first of all, let's go back to that. I love Lennon's vocals.
Yeah.
Obviously, but the song isn't much. And to me, it's repetitious. Now, you can find other songs. I Want You, She's So Heavy is repetitious. Yeah. Somebody out there will be saying, well, what about this song? And people always do that, right? I do it too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. You better leave my kitten alone. You better leave my kitten alone.
Not just the playing. The band is on fire on that song.
I'm disappointed. I think Kitten's brilliant track.
Thank you, Tony. My brother from another mother across the pond. I'm gonna fly right over and give you a hug right now.
And if you heard Elvis Costello's version of it, it's fantastic.
Yes, I have heard his. His is good.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not just a song. Well, they didn't put it this way. They didn't release it.
Fair enough.
They must have not liked it,
My man Joe.
They didn't release it, so they said, you know what, sod this. It's not good enough. Then you know what? Hey, they didn't, but they really did because it came out on Anthology.
Yeah.
So we got 50-50.
50-50.
I agree with this. I mean, Best of Me Mucho, you can have it as far as I'm concerned. You want to talk about
boom.
It's kind of fun in a campy way.
Does that fit the Beatles more than How Do You Do It? I don't know about that.
No,
but I guess they were doing it. Obviously, they were doing all these songs in their act, so it must have fit the Beatles. But he liked it.
Yep,
but I don't think that sounded.
I like it on a campy level. It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
but
I like it as
wouldn't.
An audition song or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the cha-cha boom and all. It's fun. But
fun.
I would not rank it among.
That's it too. It's not none of them finished. That's true. It's not finished.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
If you want to go by that, it's not finished. Sure, that's definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe that's the other thing that bothered me, that it didn't sound.
You better leave. You better leave. Actually, I like the ending. I think about it.
Mm-hmm. Come on, don't leave me hanging here.
I heard that the first time in 1984. Okay, so.
Okay, I didn't hear it that far.
I think Danny. Sorry, I think Andy was like 3 maybe then or something.
Yeah, you're about right.
I'm old, man, compared to you.
Yeah. I like Chica Verbi too. Again, the campy
stuff.
Fun,
the campy stuff.
I like those songs, as Decca auditions and side things. But I'm glad they didn't put them on their proper albums.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Youngblood. That's another.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
Nobody song.
Yeah.
Nobody song.
Yep. I agree. That's fun.
All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. So I'm going to run.
All right.
Thank you very much, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
Joe, thank you for the invite.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. Let's do it again soon. And Kit, great to see you as always.
As always, sir.
Tony, we'll chat.
Yeah. Cheers, Andy. See you soon, mate.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Talk later.
Yeah.
Kitten is better than Lend Me Your Comb.
Lend Me Your Comb is kind of another a little bit fun, but not like, I don't know if I'd say campy. I don't know if I go that far, but kind of a fun song.
What's this? McCartney parallels She's So Heavy at the end of No Values. I never thought of that. You mean when
thought of that?
That little exit thing they do?
I don't know. I'd have to listen.
I never thought of that with it.
I'll have to listen to the two next to each other. Yeah, Three Cool Cats. I like that. It's, again, pure fun. A lot of the audition stuff is just pure fun.
It just goes to show that they had to play for so long when they were in Hamburg that they literally had to play every song they've ever heard in their entire lives.
I know. Yeah.
Things like Three Cool Cats and Bessie and Mucho and all that sort of stuff.
I know.
Every song we've ever heard, we're going to learn it.
Just throw it all at them.
Yeah.
That's a nice little ditty, I got to say. I don't know. It's unfinished, but.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good name, that.
My Bonnie was absolutely amazing to hear on Anthology, as was Besame Mucho.
Yes, indeed.
What else we got going on here? I Don't Want to See You Again is FaB. Why am I not? I can't remember how that goes.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that too. I'm like,
some of them I don't like. I don't love Tip of My Tongue. I don't think I love that song.
Yeah, it's okay.
I do love I'll Be On My Way. That's my favorite BBC track.
Yep, I like that too.
So.
Oh yeah, Christian says, I think in spite of all the danger, lived up to the hype for what it was. Yeah, I like it too. And now, of course, we've heard Paul play it live a number of times now, but for the time, it was exciting to hear.
Well, Paul does a fun arrangement of that in concert.
Yeah.
No, right? They never played together after that.
No. Nope.
Live at the BBC as the true anthology one.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I always looked at that as sort of the warm up to the anthology.
Yeah.
But that's interesting to, look at that. Oh, I remember when that came out. That was so exciting to get finally like a good, cleaned up copy. Because I had crappy bootleg copies. I'm sure you guys did too before then.
Yeah. A lot of different qualities I've had. Yeah. And then I had some pretty good quality before that. I think somebody could tell me. I think they took some bootlegs for some of the versions on the released one. In some cases, they had to find sources from fans. Even I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was still able to clean them up. I think they put it out twice, didn't they? They reissued it later again.
Yes. Yeah, for volumes 1 and 2.
Anybody care about a Who tour? Only 2 guys right now.
Yeah. I saw him in 2015, I think. I don't think I need to see them again now.
Really?
I mean, they were great. They were great, but I saw them. I saw them at Live Aid, and I saw them earlier in the noughties as well. But you know, I think Roger struggles a little bit vocally these days.
Yeah, I saw a video of him where I saw that, and I thought, oh, I don't know if I'd want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him. I saw him at Hyde Park, and he was really good. And then the next night, they headlined Glastonbury, and that was, you know, I didn't go to Glastonbury, but it was live on TV here, and he really struggled that second night after doing the show the day before.
Wow, yeah.
You know, there's been some stuff floating around lately here and there, video. I've seen them in different places. There's always video stuff cropping up. And I think some of them might have been silent footage of them at the BBC, if I'm not mistaken. This is over the last 6 to 8 months or something. I mean, I remember seeing new footage of them, and then it disappears. It's like highlighted somewhere. Maybe you see it on YouTube or Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And they talk about it, and it's gone. If BBC didn't do anything, would the anthology have been what it was?
What do you mean?
You mean like if it didn't sell?
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, I never subscribed to that. I don't know if that's what you're asking, Joseph, but I get that all the time. My whole life of collecting, even with movies. You know, they used to say things would come out on VHS tape, the old monster movies from Universal Films.
Yeah.
And then they'd say, well, is this title coming out? Well, it didn't sell. The other one didn't sell that well. Like, I don't guess not. Then they wind up putting it out. Then it came out on DVD anyway. Then it came out on Blu-ray. Then it came later, 4K. Yeah. Somehow this stuff comes out. I don't think it's always that important, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what the question is here, but the BBC didn't have anything to do with anthology. It was ITV.
Like, I mean, if he's talking sales, I mean, I don't, I mean, it's like, oh, we can't do anything else because they put out, I don't know, you put out the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl again. Yeah, if it didn't sell.
Yeah, if it didn't sell, okay.
I don't think it's that strict. From my experience, from what I've seen, like, again, with the movies, it happens with movies as well. People say, well, this ain't going to come out on DVD. It didn't sell that well on Laserdisc, then it comes out. And Blu-ray as well, and high definite 4K. So I don't know. Remember this? Yeah.
Yeah, but he kept losing.
He lost.
I'm not such a genius. He kept losing at chess.
There's a comment up here from Zapplecore. He's saying Star Club tapes cleaned up with AI would be an interesting project. From your lips to Apple's ears.
Isn't Peter Jackson playing around with them?
Supposedly he bought the tapes. He has them and has been working on them. So fingers crossed. As boy, would I love that. Let's hope.
As long as they wait till they've done all the stereo remixes first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
That's what and I hope it's not going to be halted. Because I keep saying, was it Jeff Jones?
Yeah.
Departure. Somebody said, let's be positive about the Jeff Jones thing. I'm not neither positive nor negative. I'm realist.
Yeah.
We don't know. Will it be better? It may be much better.
Yeah.
Will it be worse? It could be worse. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Positive. All the positive thinking isn't going to make something like that work. That's a whole nother rant video for me. I guess.
Yeah, there you go. There's a rant video.
Some things I believe. You say, hey, you know what? I'm going to, do this or that. I don't know. I want to run the marathon. I'm going to train. I'm going to run. That positive, I believe. Mm-hmm. If you say, I'm positive this is going to come out, you got to think positive so it'll come out. No, that's independent of your willing it or thinking.
Yep. That's right.
I own the Star Club tapes on CD, and it's just a tough listen. Yeah, I don't love them. I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I love parts of them. Like, I love the version of I Saw Her Standing There with, I call it the Peter Gunn guitar. I mean,
I do love that.
Love that. So if they could just
love.
do some cleaning up, I mean, it'd be great.
Looks like Laura's going to see Midas Man tomorrow. Please let us know how it is.
Yes.
Return and let us know, please.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to see it at the theatre, or on you talking about Amazon?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm gonna see if I can get it on Amazon tomorrow and see how it is. So far, mixed reviews, but we'll watch it for ourselves.
Yeah, I'm going to reserve till I see it, but I'll give you a negative. I was almost going to do a negative review just of the trailer, which is not really the movie, but the trailer. People do that. They do trailer reviews.
Oh, sure.
Or first impressions of the trailer.
Mm-hmm. But we will see. Yeah, so far, as I said, mixed reviews, but gotta see it for ourselves before we make any definite decisions.
Expectations should be kept low for that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Don't you want to see Jay Leno as Ed Sullivan?
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting casting choice. So the one review I read said he actually does a fairly good job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so okay.
All three hit #1?
Wow, really?
I seem to think one of them, at least one did not, but
yeah. Wow, I didn't think all of them went hit #1, but I could be wrong. All I remember was I went to the midnight release events of all three. So that was so fun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Eddie Izzard is in it. Yeah, I forget who he plays. I can't remember which character, but yep. Yeah, that was talking about great British actors and actresses. Yeah, that was one thing that I was almost going to go on a rant about last night. talk my own rant was I still can't believe that they had Tracy Ullman, and give my regards to Broad Street. Yeah. Tracy Ullman. Now, and I know she was new at the time. I mean, she wasn't Tracy Ullman, like now. But I'm just like, you had Tracy Ullman, and all you did was have her just in a few scenes just sit around and cry.
Yeah,
she wasn't really that famous then, but it was a trade-off because Tracy Ullman had a hit with a song called "They Don't Know."
Sure, I remember it. Yeah,
it was a Kirsty MacColl song, a cover of a Kirsty MacColl song, and in the video, I'm not sure if you had this in the States or not, but in the 70s. In the 70s and early 80s, we had sun visors on cars, the top of a windscreen, and it used to have boyfriend and girlfriend names on the sun visors. It's very tacky. And in Tracy Ullman's video, Paul is sitting in the passenger seat, sun visor with Tracy and Paul on the thing, and that I think that was the payoff for that. She had to appear in.
So I guess she got a lot out of that anyway, but I'm glad you explained that, because I mean, I kind of figured that out anyway, but I didn't know that was like a specific thing.
Yeah, she had a show, the Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah.
And she's amazing at doing like accents and things like that, changing her voice.
Yeah, she's very talented.
I just saw her the season 12 of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I just got it. I just ordered it. I don't have HBO, so I wait till it comes on DVD, then I add it to my collection. I just watched her. She's in there. She's in the season.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's popped up all different places. As I said, very talented. That's right. That's right. The Simpsons debuted on her show.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did. Yep. And so I mean, her show didn't last, but then the Simpsons have gone on.
Oh, Joseph, thank you. Anytime. We're going to do this again,
For sure.
I'm going to try to do this a lot of Tuesday nights, which when I'm up here, not next Tuesday. We won't be up here next Tuesday. But anyway, and as I say, anybody who can make it, is welcome to come up. I mean, I told Beatles, Tone, and Kit, there's no obligation. It's like, oh, gee, I got to make it every Tuesday. No. But whenever you want, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you. Whenever I can, I will.
We'll just talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And other stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh, a nice surprise. Whoa, what a surprise. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Clay. Yes, so I think I can start winding down the show a little bit now. I mean, I got a few 5 minutes or so, I guess, if anybody has any other comments or questions or...
somebody brought up an interesting question. I'm just trying to scroll up here about, Zapplecore, do you think when the boomers and Gen Xers are gone, that interest in the Beatles will endure? I think so.
I know so.
Yeah.
I know I'm here.
Yeah, right. I mean, because in fact, I mean, we see at FaB for Beatles fans, at least here, and Tone, you can, talk about your experience in England. Here, we see younger people coming to the fest all the time. And we see people like Skylar Moody, who Joe and I know, who are making, themselves known on TikTok and other kinds of platforms, and they are really keeping the keeping the torch lit, and really I find it interesting at the fest seeing some younger people, in their 20s and so forth, coming to the panels and asking questions and knowing pretty a lot of stuff, and right, Tony, sometimes people younger than teenagers. So I have a lot of faith that I think younger generations are going to continue things. How about you, Tony?
And you've only got to go to a Paul McCartney concert,
right?
You'll see grandparents and parents and children, and at these concerts, and the kids, they know the words to every song. And they're belting it out the top of their voice, right? All usually in my ear hole, but yeah, but they do. But so yeah, I think the legacy is in good hands.
The music is timeless.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
And, the fact that you see kids at these concerts, it's a tribute to good parenting, I think.
I always remember a little thing that happened. I used to listen to, I think it was WPLJ radio in New York, and it was January of 1980. It was going to be the start of a new, decade or whatnot. And I remember listening to, they had the show where you could call in and you could talk to the manager of the station or whatever. And anyway, somebody called in and said, now that 1980 is starting, the Beatles were still very popular in the 70s. The caller said, do you think, in your opinion, the Beatles are going to go into the 80s and be as big in the 80s? And I remember very clearly, because I was like, boo. The guy was like, I don't know. He says, he goes, the Beatles, we love it and all and everything. But, a lot of that stuff, like, you've heard it so much and you don't want to hear it anymore. I remember him saying that. And I was only 17, going on 18. And I'm thinking, boo, and here we are, 2024. I'm not saying it's the number one thing in every school. If you're in school, you're probably the oddball, or one of the few that loves the Beatles. But there are a lot of you now, and with the internet, that's one of the good things. You can share with people that have the same interests as you.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think that's one good thing about technology. I think that, I mean, look at all the people like ourselves that have shows and all that. It's easier to connect with fellow fans, and I think that's one thing that has helped to keep the fandom alive. So I think, and of course, younger fans are even more adept at doing that, and so they may express their fandoms in different ways than we do, but But if that keeps the Beatles alive, great. I mean, let's I think that's fine.
I think there might be a case that the Beatles actually became bigger in the 70s than they were in the 60s, because you had all the fans that were into the Beatles in the 60s, and then in the 70s, they would pick up fans of Wings, and George Harrison and have My Sweet Lord, and some kid will say, well, who is this George Harrison? Oh, he used to be a band called the Beatles. Let's go and have a listen to them and see what they were like, because I really like this song, My Sweet Lord, or whatever. And it kind of snowballed a bit. So you might have got obviously all the 60s fans are still there, and then you've got all these new fans in the 70s like me, that are suddenly jumping on this bandwagon that we find it really difficult to get off of.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why? I'm not getting off in no time. And on that note, I want to say thank you to Kit and to Tone for joining me, and Andy, who had to leave a little earlier. But before we go, if there's anything you want to talk about or plug, or please be my guest. Kit, how about you?
Sure. Well, my other show, Toppermost of the Poppermost, we have new episodes coming very soon. They'll be, I think, dropping some point this week. So just check toppermostthepoppermost.net. You can also register for my next class, which is Bringing the Funk Part 2, which is about the history of funk from 1975 to the present. I'll have the link to register on the Talk More Talk Facebook page and mine as well. And as Joe said earlier, please check out the latest episode of Talk More Talk on YouTube and virtually any podcast platform you can think of.
Okay, and Tone, tell us about your channel and all.
Well, I've got a great big list of videos to make. I've got plenty of ideas, not so much time, but plenty of ideas for videos. Yesterday I did an interview with Ian Derbyshire, who's the author of this book here. So that will be posted up on my channel at some point this week. Tomorrow I'm speaking to Alan G. Parker, who is the director of the new John Lennon documentary called Borrowed Time, that's coming out in the summer of 2025, and it'll be all the usual nonsense. Plenty of talking about different songs, different albums. We're looking forward to Living in the Material World box set coming out on the 15th. And obviously the US albums on the 22nd, the week after. So I'll be all over that on my channel. So please join me if you're not subscribed to the channel. There's plenty going on.
Okay, thank you. And thank you everybody for watching. We will do this again. I will be here. Look under on my channel on the playlists. Look under FaB, GaB, and there's all kinds of shows, talk shows like this, different topics, Beatles related, that we've done. On my guests here and some other guests. All right, so talk soon, everybody. Beatles forever, cliche, right?
Bye, everyone.
Peace and love.
Come on, let's go. It's the